Podcast today at talksport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Burnley from Anfield. I'm your host, Alex Crook. Alongside me is the former Arsenal winger, Adrian Clark. This is Premier League Live as the Liverpool fans go through their usual pre-match anthem of You'll Never Walk Alone. On the subject of songs, the last time Burnley won a league game here at Anfield back in September 1974, Elton John was in the charts with Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Anything other than a win for Liverpool this afternoon, and you fear the sun may well be setting on their Premier League title hopes. So will they still be standing come the end of this game, or will Sean Dyche go breaking Jurgen Klopp's heart?
Oh, it's too good, Alex. Love it.
It is a huge game, Adrian Clark.
It is, yeah, massive. And yeah, it's a rousing rendition of You Never Walk Alone. I think the fans know that they've got to play a part today. Burnley will look to play a containing game. We know that. Have Liverpool got that champion mentality? These are the types of games that champions prevailing comfortably. We'll see.
It's a glorious sunny afternoon on Merseyside. Burnley all in white and shooting left to right in this first half have got us off and underway in the first of our three live commentaries. Chelsea, Wolves, Arsenal, Manchester United to come. But this, in terms of the title race, is the biggest game of the weekend. Liverpool all in red, shooting from right to left, so they're defending the Kop end of the ground away to our right in this first half. I'll run you through the two lineups. Liverpool have Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson in front of him. Lovren back as a substitute after 2 months out. Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Lallana, maybe the surprise inclusion in midfield. Mane, Firmino and Salah up front. Burnley unchanged from the side that lost against Crystal Palace last time out. Heaton is the goalkeeper. A chance to stake his claim for a place in Gareth Southgate's England squad to be announced next week. Bardsley, Tarkowski, Mee and Taylor in defence. Hendrick, Cork, Westwood and McNeil make up midfield. And Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood, who between them have scored Burnley's last 9 Premier League goals, lead the line up front.
Well, they're the danger men, that much is obvious. And they are a threat. They've scored goals against the big boys before. The pair of them, Wood and Barnes, handful. I like them, actually. What good acquisitions they were. Chris Wood. No one really knew whether he could make that step up from the Championship to the Premier League. He'd done so well for Leeds, of course, but yeah, he's been a great signing by Sean Dyche. But yeah, look, it feels as if today is all about Liverpool. Can they stay calm enough to execute the game plan to dispatch a team that they're so much better than, or will they let the pressure affect them?
Here is Taylor trying to play it down the left-hand side for the teenager McNeil. Intercepted by Trent Alexander-Arnold, so throw in for Burnley. 2 minutes played. Liverpool 0, Burnley 0. Remember, Liverpool starting the game 4 points behind Manchester City. City having dispatched Watford last night. At one stage this season, Liverpool was 7 points ahead of the champions. Their form has wilted at just the wrong time. They've dropped 11 points from their last 9 matches after only giving up 6 in their first 20 games of the season. That's pressure.
Yeah, exactly. There was too much reliance on the front three. That much is obvious. And at some point, they're all going to lose a little bit of form. They're going to tire physically, mentally. And unluckily for Klopp, 2 of the 3 have sort of began to will at the same time. Mane, to his credit, since New Year has been good. Yep. Firmino and Salah have certainly seen a bit of a drop-off.
Yeah, Mohamed Salah currently enduring his worst ever goal drought for Liverpool. 390 minutes since finding the back of the net. Mane, as you said, much more prolific. In fact, he scored 6 goals in his last 5 Premier League games here at Anfield. 4 minutes gone. Not too much in the way of goalmouth action thus far. Here is Firmino inside the centre circle, though, trying to play it through for Wijnaldum, who was very well forward. Cleared upfield by Mee. And then Taylor beating Salah in the air. It's going to be picked up inside the centre circle by Firmino. Just too many Burnley players in the way. And here come the Clarets on the counter-attack with Bardsley, the ex-Manchester United man. How he'd love to put a dent in Liverpool's hopes of a first Championship win since 1990. Liverpool have won it back with Alexander-Arnold. Forward to Firmino. Scrappy affair so far. Both sides guilty of giving the ball away cheaply. Here's Robertson. He's got Lallana overlapping to his left. Lallana crosses into the penalty area, but it's pucked from the sky by Heaton. Comfortable enough for the Burnley captain, all in green.
Yeah, nice, easy take for Tom Heaton. Nice little 2v1 overload down the left-hand side. Robertson, the on-rushing Lallana, who just clips it into the box, but the wind holds it up and Heaton comes out and gets it. But yeah, no, it's a lively start, no goal-mouth action to speak of, but fast and frenetic, as you'd expect. One standout for me in the early stages is Wijnaldum. Seems like he's under instruction to make a lot of forward runs, be that box-to-box guy that kind of earned his reputation as with Newcastle United. He's been more defensive, hasn't he, for Liverpool? But I think with Liverpool expected to be on the front foot today, Fabinho will just sit and he'll let Lallana and Wijnaldum go and join in with those front three as often as they possibly can.
The referee, by the way, this afternoon is Andre Mariner, taken charge of Liverpool twice this season. Both matches have ended in 1-1 draws. Only a win will do this afternoon. Burnley put a free kick into the area, collected by Alisson under no real pressure, and he volleys it high upfield. Salah can't get there ahead of Taylor, the fullback, and it's with Jack Cork now inside the centre circle for Burnley. I have seen plenty of the ball in these opening 6 minutes. 0-0 on Premier League Live. Taylor down the line for Burnley, asking Wood to chase, and that was a nervy bit of defending from Matip. Heads it behind for a needlessly conceded corner.
You could say it was nervy, but it was also terrible from John Matip. I mean, it was a simple ball, just clipped down the left-hand channel for Burnley. He's got all the time in the world, and it comes off his head and goes behind for a totally needless corner. Can Burnley make Matip and Liverpool pay for that?
Well, this is where you feel Burnley's joy could come. These set pieces that Sean Dyche will spend hours and hours working on the training field. It's going to be a corner played in from the left-hand side. Good delivery as well. He's gone straight in. Burnley take the lead at Anfield. An absolute dagger to Liverpool hearts. A goal that will be roared from here to the Etihad and back, and I think it went straight in. The goalkeeper Alisson is furious, and it's the set-piece taker.
It's Westwood, isn't it?
Westwood who is taking the plaudits, and nobody got a touch on the ball. He scored straight from a corner, Westwood. It's his first ever Burnley goal. Absolutely incredible. Liverpool 0, Burnley 1.
Amazing goal. Alisson is claiming there's a foul. There's a sandwich inside the box. Tarkowski, does he climb all over Alisson? I can see why the Liverpool goalkeeper is complaining about it. Cork was in front of him. Tarkowski was behind. Two white shirts sandwiching the Liverpool goalkeeper. Was he fouled? That's the big, big question here. Did Andre Mariner miss it or not? What I do know is that set piece was absolute perfection from Ashley Westwood. Just kisses the inside of the far post and goes straight in. You don't see that very often, Alex. Incredible.
Alisson has actually been shown a yellow card for his protestations, just to add insult to injury for the Brazilian goalkeeper. That's the first goal he's conceded in more than 500 minutes. It was a comical one, really.
Wow.
I'm sure Jurgen Klopp isn't laughing. What a start to this game. Just what the neutral would have wanted. Just what Pep Guardiola, watching at his Cheshire mansion, would have wanted. Liverpool are wobbling. There is no doubt about that. 6 minutes gone when Westwood has scored direct from a corner. How often do you see that in the Premier League?
Just not very often at all. I've done it before, but very rarely. You often do that as a corner taker. You do try and shoot for the far post, but very rarely does it go in.
Here's Lallana. Liverpool looking to get back on level terms straight away, but Burnley will defend for their lives now. They have something to cling on to.
Well, it's brilliant for the neutrals. Put the cat amongst the pigeons. And will Liverpool crumble, or will they use it to galvanise a really spirited comeback? Well, Liverpool, we know they're good front runners. They've not lost a game when they've when they've scored the first goal, they're also very good at coming from behind. Statistically, they're the best in the Premier League when they concede the first goal. It's happened 5 times this season. They've won 3, they've drawn 1 and lost only 1. So look, all is not lost for Liverpool, but with such pressure on them today, it's going to take nerves of steel now.
Now the heavens have opened as well. Rain pouring at Anfield. Never rains, but it pours for Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, sun is shining, but it's sort of a sleety
this
snow.
Is incredible, isn't it?
Not nice. Look at it. It's the concession, the corner. Matip, I mean, it was an absolute schoolboy error. And it goes to show that you can be made to pay for mistakes like that.
A lot of people on social media are saying that Tarkowski, because he climbed on the back of Alisson, was fouling the goalkeeper.
For me, I would almost always side with the attackers. I think the keepers are too protected, but in this occasion, Liverpool have genuine grounds for complaint. It looked to me as if Tarkowski was climbing on the Liverpool goalkeeper, and Burnley might have got away with one there.
There's a foul inside the centre circle. Liverpool have taken the free kick quickly, too quickly for Andre Mariner's liking. It will be retaken. Burnley, who remember, were on this fine run of form since the turn of the year, 8 unbeaten. They've lost their last 2 though, against Newcastle and Crystal Palace, but what a start for the Clarets this afternoon. 1-0 they lead. Ashley Westwood with a goal direct from a corner, for those of you perhaps joining our coverage late.
Bonus goal, wasn't it? Just a complete freak. But
Alexander-Arnold offside, down by the right corner flag. It's going to be a free kick for Burnley. Alexander-Arnold giving the assistant a real mouthful. I think he was just off.
He is off, yeah, he's looking right along the line. Good decision from the linesman there. Yeah, look, Matip has got to look at himself. It's a ball that at worst he should put out for a throw. He could have controlled the ball and cleared it, no problem. He was flustered, and he headed the ball out for a corner completely needlessly. And from it, whether Tarkowski committed the foul or not, and we think, well, I certainly feel he did, Liverpool have to look at themselves and say that we shouldn't have given the corner away in the first place.
Here's Cork for Burnley. Down that left-hand side, McNeil trying to make hay, but runs out of space. It will be a throw-in for Liverpool. We've won 13, drawn 1 of 14 matches against teams in the bottom half of the Premier League this season. They are trailing here to a Burnley team who, remember, are just as desperate for the points as their host, just 2 points clear of the relegation zone after all of their rivals down at the foot of the table were victorious yesterday. Southampton, Brighton, Newcastle coming from behind, and Cardiff, of course, at home to a woeful West Ham side. 12 minutes gone here. Liverpool 0, Burnley 1. The ball floated over to the right-hand side by Fabinho. Alexander-Arnold with a cross into the area, headed away by me. Burnley have defended well so far. And here's McNeil grappling against Wijnaldum. He's turned away from the Dutchman. Burnley coming forward with Cork in the left wing position, trying to release Ashley Barnes on that left-hand side. It was intercepted by Matip, and back for Alisson, the goalkeeper.
It's a balancing act for Liverpool because they're showing obvious urgency. They have to. They want to commit bodies forward to score goals, to get themselves back on level terms as quickly as possible. But they can't leave too many holes, can they, in behind? And Burnley, even though they've got these 2 big guys up top, they're useful on the counter-attack. We saw that at Brighton recently, where they went down there and picked off the Seagulls very nicely in a 3-1 win. So Liverpool got to tread carefully.
Here's Wijnaldum, halfway inside the Burnley half. Back to Alexander-Arnold, who actually left a game recently with a match ball at 5-0 demolition of Watford after setting up 3 of the goals.
I'm not having that. Yeah, I said that on TalkSport Weekend Sports Day. I was like, this can't be a thing. You have to score goals to take the match ball. Are you having it or not?
I'd have had it if he was in my fantasy football team, that's for sure.
No, that's a good achievement, but you can't have the match ball, sorry.
It's good play by the New Zealander Wood. Holds up possession on the halfway line, then it's chipped forward by Taylor. Cleared away by Alexander-Arnold. Salah with room to turn. He's found Firmino. He's got Mane to his right. Firmino into the penalty area, deflected and over the bar. First big chance for Liverpool.
Yeah, really good transition from Liverpool. Salah receives it between the lines, picks the right pass, finds Firmino, left side of the box, but it's too telegraphed. Makes it really obvious that he wants to cut in on his right foot. Tarkowski read it, and then he gets lucky. The shot hits him, bounces into the ground, and luckily for Burnley, it skims off the turf just over the crossbars. Better from Liverpool, but I think Firmino's got to try it with his left foot there.
Short corner, play to Lallana on the edge of the area, right-footed delivery. Matip was climbing, appeals for handball, mainly from the Liverpool fans behind the goal. It's cleared to the halfway line by Burnley, who are defended doggedly in these opening 15 minutes. Robertson floats it forward for Liverpool, headed away by Miggy this time, and McNeil full of running as he sprints towards the halfway line. His pass was poor, one back by Lallana, and here is Fabinho now for Liverpool inside the centre circle. You can feel the tension, you can hear the tension around Anfield. Liverpool 0, Burnley 1, 15 play. Westwood with the goal on 6 minutes from a corner. Shot from Fabinho, charged down on the edge of the area. Here's Mane now, 10 yards out, tries to backheel it for Lallana, but it's cleared away by Jeff Hendrick, only as far as Virgil van Dijk, who stayed forward. Robertson now, there's a Burnley player down with a head injury, referee is playing on. Robertson's cross over the head of everyone in red. Here is Alexander-Arnold now in the right wing position. His cross blocked by Taylor. Bardsley, who was down holding his face, is now back on his feet inside the penalty area. Fabinho back out to Alexander-Arnold. Chance for a cross from the right hand side, blocked again by Taylor, and it will be a throw in for Liverpool as Bardsley again goes to ground. Yeah. Referee should have stopped play, shouldn't he?
Probably, because it's a head injury. Maybe the referee just thought it's just a facial problem. I have to. Look, I've just seen a replay of the incident. It's really unlucky. I don't think it's deliberate. Mane and he are grappling, and then he puts his head down, does Bardsley, to look at the ball, and as he does so, Mane lifts his head up. So Mane's head clatters into his nose, Bardsley. No wonder he's down. He might have broken his nose there. Happened to me once. I bust my lip. Still see the scar today. Happened exactly the same way. Someone jumped up into the roof of my mouth and just completely burst my mouth open. It was horrendous. It looks innocuous, but very painful. So I think we're right to stop here. Definitely need to look at.
Certainly, Mane in deep conversation with James Tarkowski. Sean Dyche has come out to the edge of the technical area. Bardsley bravely is going to soldier on, I think, just taking on some water.
Look at this.
Replay now. There was nothing deliberate from Sadio Mane.
Completely accidental.
Certainly Bardsley's come off worse.
Yeah, a bit of blood as he's sort of spitting. Yeah, he is literally spitting blood. Bardsley, hopefully he'll be okay to carry on.
Well, momentarily Burnley down to 10 men. Liverpool have taken the throw in. Firmino back out to Alexander-Arnold on the right. A good cross towards the far post. Mane with a header. Takes it off target, and it will be a goal kick for Burnley. Liverpool have reacted well to that early goal conceded. Don't forget to get involved in our Twitter poll. Who wins the title, Manchester City or Liverpool? 86% now saying Manchester City. At TalkSport Live is our Twitter address. You can also find it on my personal Twitter, Alex_Crook. We've got about 90 minutes left to vote on that.
Well, a few more votes for City, given the scoreline here at the moment. But there's a long time for Liverpool to claw this back, and their attitude looks right.
Here come Burnley, though. McNeil pokes at the wrong side of Alexander-Arnold, crosses into the area. It's headed back across the face of goal by Barnes. Wouldn't fall for Westwood inside the penalty area. Here's Barnes with a header again, plucked from the sky by Alisson this time, and he kicks it to the halfway line where it's brought down by Firmino, and then he's played a poor pass out to the left, and it's a throw in for Burnley.
That's a brilliant first touch. It was a Brazilian first touch, wasn't it, from Roberto Firmino? The keeper, Alisson, just leathered the ball as hard as he could. It skidded off the turf, killed it in an instant, Firmino, and then he had a simple pass out left. He knocks it out of play, would you believe it? But yeah, Liverpool, it's a test of character, of course it is. Do they have faith in their methods, or do they start to panic? Do they start to go off the cuff, start to do things that are alien to them? So far, I think they've been patient. I think Jurgen Klopp will be relatively satisfied with the response. To be honest, I think right now, Liverpool and Klopp in particular, we feel there's an injustice here, and that the goal that they did concede should have been disallowed for the foul from Tarkowski. Don't think he'll be that disappointed by what he's seeing from his team.
Here is Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool. Out to Lallana on this near left-hand side. Lallana is going to switch it out to Mohamed Salah down the right. Neat touch from Salah to bring it down. He's played 1-2 with Wijnaldum. He's trying to find Firmino. Liverpool have hit back here. Roberto Firmino with his 12th goal of the season. Calamitous defending from Burnley. Mohamed Salah right at the heart of it. And if Liverpool had lost their way, then they've certainly rediscovered it very quickly. 20 minutes gone. Liverpool won, Burnley won.
Fantastic response from Liverpool. It's a brilliant switch pass from Lallana. And it's all about the 1-2. Salah gets to the byline, the keeper, Tom Heaton. We praised him ahead of kickoff, but he has missed the low cross there from Mo Salah, who gets to the byline quite brilliantly. He's got to come out and claim this. He misses it, and Firmino cannot miss. He's 2 inches away from the goal line, just taps it in.
Well, just what Jurgen Klopp would have demanded after the concession of that early Burnley goal. Roberto Firmino back in the starting lineup, back among the goals, and the mood is visibly lifted inside Anfield. Here comes Firmino again. Suddenly Liverpool in full flow. Firmino in the yellow boots plays it out to the edge of the penalty area. Fabinho almost had it nicked off his toe by Barnes, manages to recycle possession. Here's Robertson. Firmino again in space down the left. He's going to cut onto his right foot. He's got Robertson overlapping. Robertson with a chance to cross here low into the area. Neat turn by Lallana towards the far post with a cross. Headed away and out to the edge of the penalty area. And then it's hacked clear by Taylor, the fullback. And it will be picked up by Trent Alexander-Arnold just inside the Liverpool half. Liverpool won, Burnley won.
Yeah, they stuck to their guns. Liverpool played their football. It was a beautiful switch pass, wasn't it, from Lallana? She's using the full width of the pitch. And it was trademark Salah, wasn't it, on that right-hand side. Plays it into Wijnaldum, makes the run in behind, and he just uses that explosive turn of speed that he's got. And he puts it into the right area. I think Heaton should claim it. I would put it down to a goalkeeper now. Tarkowski kind of got in his way, you could argue, but in my view the goalie's got to be forceful there and take it. Fluffs his lines, and Firmino just did what all centre forwards should do, is expect a mistake.
He gambled, didn't he?
Yeah, you've always got to. And he will not score an easier goal this season, that's for sure.
Here is Hendrick inside the centre circle for Burnley. Oh, it's a sloppy pass from Hendrick, just about. Jack Cork manages to keep possession for the visitors, and it's launched forward by Heaton, the goalkeeper for Burnley. Foul by Ashley Barnes, who was backing into Robertson, who's taking the free kick quickly. Here's Mane now, high upfield on the edge of the penalty area, pulls it back for Wijnaldum, 25 yards out. Alexander-Arnold with a chance to shoot from the edge of the area, almost kept alive by Mohamed Salah, but it's going to be cleared towards the halfway line by Taylor. He's done really well to accelerate away from Alexander-Arnold, but he couldn't quite keep the ball in play, Taylor. So it will be a throw-in for Liverpool, which again they have taken hurriedly. This is Robertson. Forward to Firmino, the goal scorer. Robertson again, who's been such an attacking threat this season down the left-hand side. So many assists to his name, 8 in total.
Sheets of rain now, horrendous conditions.
Absolutely lashing down at Anfield. Mane. Burnley struggling at the moment to stem the red tide. Liverpool completely dominant since their equaliser. Firmino into Robertson. That was a good challenge by Hendrick to slide in and turn the ball behind for a second Liverpool corner.
Yeah, great defending from Hendrick. He was under pressure there. Robertson, who's had such a great season, hasn't he, from left back? He was in on the slide. Hendrick, he has no option but put it behind for a corner. Look, it's wet, it's windy.
Again, they've taken it short. Alexander-Arnold's going to shoot here, right-footed over the bar, 25 yards out.
Yeah, on days like this, do the players fancy it? It's as simple as that. It's deeply unpleasant conditions to play in, but it would appear that Liverpool, after that early setback, are now very much in the mood. Burnley are wobbling. They've got to be careful here, Burnley. This is the kind of scenario that has seen teams crumble amid the pressure. Liverpool often score goals in bunches, don't they, in 2s and 3s. What they've got to do here, Burnley, is just kill the game. Just make it disjointed, take the sting out of it, quieten down the crowd, and stay in the contest for as long as they can. They can come again, Burnley, no doubt about that.
6 attempts for Liverpool, 1 from Burnley, 1 each on target, both ending up in the back of the net. Jurgen Klopp has got his hood up now and wearing his snoo. It's glorious sunshine before kick-off, but sleeting very heavily now at Anfield. And it's going to make it tricky both for defenders and goalkeepers. Here is Roberto Firmino, lovely ball out to Alexander-Arnold, who's got the blind side of McNeil, but his cross is disappointing for once. Barnsley in the right back position, watches it out of play for a throw.
You expect better, don't you, of Alexander-Arnold? Overhit that quite badly. But these conditions, sorry to go on about it, but it might suit Burnley, you know, in regards to the type of football they play, the percentage football. Certainly not conducive to the Liverpool style. They need to keep it on the deck. We know that Jurgen Klopp hates the wind. He made that much clear, didn't he, last time out against Everton. His players have got to kind of try and ignore that now and play on the deck as they ordinarily would.
I think you make a good weather girl, by the way. Even with your smashed up lip that you've already told us about.
Yeah. I'm sure it's my thing. No. I'm a bit too hairy. Look good in heels, though.
That's an image that I'm sure all our listeners around the world wanted to see.
I wouldn't know.
You can't take it back now.
No, but look at this, going back to the game, is set up beautifully, isn't it? Burnley, I think, have done a relatively good job of just stemming that Liverpool wave for the time being. One player that has looked dangerous whenever they have broken is the left winger McNeil.
Yeah, very much
He's
so.
quick, isn't he? He travels across the ground really smartly, and he's given Alexander-Arnold a bit of a tough time. Matip, of course, is also on that side, the right side of centre-back. He's the weak link, I think, in this Reds rearguard. I can see Burnley looking to target him.
He might have extra incentive, McNeil, as Van Dijk plays a long ball straight into the arms of Heaton. He started his career, the 19-year-old, as a youngster at Manchester City. Chance to do his old club a favour. He started the last 11 in the Premier League. McNeil, his installation into the team has coincided with Burnley's upturn in fortunes, but still remember, just 1 place and 2 points above the relegation zone ahead of this game. That's neatly controlled by Mane. It's bright sunshine now again. Only in England where you get such contrasting conditions. Burnley go long, route 1. Barnes just not able to extend his body enough to jump and head the ball back into play, so it's going to be a throw-in which Robertson, the left-back, takes to his goalkeeper Alisson. 1 touch to bring it under control, then side-foots it out to Trent Alexander-Arnold down the right. He was looking for Salah, but it's intercepted by Taylor, and a chance to cross here. Taylor, it's over the head of Wood, jumping at the near post.
And that came about because Burnley pressed from the front, and then they're not sitting here and parking the bus and being really deep. It was McNeil actually that sprung it. He went to close down Alexander-Arnold, forced a loose pass. Taylor steamed in on Salah, got in there in front of him, and from there all of a sudden they put a ball into the box from a good area, Burnley. So good proactive football from them.
Jack Court playing it back towards his own penalty area. Tarkowski in turn picks out Heaton inside the 18-yard box. Heaton slices his clearance upfield, out of play on the halfway line, having been closed down by Firmino. Here is Virgil van Dijk. 28 minutes played of what's been an intriguing contest thus far. Liverpool 1, Burnley 1. Westwood putting Burnley in front direct from a corner on 6 minutes. Firmino with a tap in after a mistake by Heaton, levelling up for Liverpool 14 minutes later. Here's Mane, thought about the shot, rolls it into the stride of Firmino instead, who clips it over the top of the defence, but Burnley momentarily win it back, and here's Sadio Mane. It's another blunder inside the penalty area, and punished with aplomb by Mane. 7 goals in his last 6 Premier League games now at Anfield, and Liverpool have come from behind to lead by 2 goals to 1.
Well, this goal is all about the surprise inclusion. Adam Lallana playing in midfield, but closing down from the front. He does magnificently here. The move breaks down. Burnley look to clear the ball. It gets in the face of Phil Bardsley, wins the ball. Salah is quick to react. It's a brilliant turnover from Adam Lallana. Bardsley's just looking to clear the ball. He's tackled. The ball ricochets inside the box, and from there Mane just curls it into the empty far corner, 9 yards out. Well played, Liverpool.
16 for the season for Sadio Mane. It's also his 50th Liverpool goal. It could just be one of the most important, because Liverpool, who were rocking early on in this game, have the lead. And as Adrian was saying earlier in the commentary, once they get their noses in front, Jurgen Klopp's side do normally go on and win the match.
Yeah, and as we pointed out, they're the comeback kids as well. From 1-0 down, they've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. Now, they're heavy favourites from that position to win 4, draw 1 and lose 1, which is outstanding from positions where you go a goal behind. So there is that character within this group of players, and you just wonder, on your poll now, will the tide begin to turn? Will people start voting for Liverpool?
Yeah, no question who's going to win the Premier League title. Liverpool have certainly enhanced their chances. As it stands, they will be just a 1 point behind Manchester City at the Summit. And both sides have got relatively favourable end-of-season run-ins. Here's Salah in the penalty area, shoots left-footed, deflected, and behind. Burnley do look suspect at the back every time Liverpool come forward.
Yeah, this time it's me, unconvincing. Misses the first ball, doesn't he? Bounces up for Salah, who drags his shot quite badly in the end. Left-footed, you expect better of him, but the front three who we've said about that downturn, apart from Mane. So Salah, Firmino, they combine for the first goal. It's Mane that scores the second goal. What would they do without these guys? Well, they'd be nowhere near in a title race, would they? It's as straightforward as that, really.
Here's Firmino again, a little outside of the foot pass intended for Salah, intercepted by Ben Mee for Burnley. Oh, and then they've played their way into trouble again, and Heaton has to come all the way out to the edge of the area and smashes the ball into the stands before Mohamed Salah could get on the end of the loose backwards pass.
Just react quickly, didn't he, Tom Heaton there? I think he'll be smarting from his error for that first goal, the one that gave Liverpool that belief.
Salah crosses to Robertson at the far post. Robertson with a header down, back out to Lallana on the edge of the area. Here's Fabinho.
Oh, what a ball.
Lovely ball steered over the top for Alexander-Arnold, but just skipped away on the slick surface at the last minute, and it will be a goal kick for Burnley and a chance to breathe for the visitors.
Finally, yeah, it looked like a perfect ball. Remember, it was the wind as well that just took the ball away from Alexander-Arnold on that far side. It dribbles out for a goal kick, but yeah, what a response from Liverpool. It shows that they have got a bit of steel about them, and from here you would expect them to go on and enjoy themselves, but Burnley have got this huge motivation themselves. They've just got to stay in the game for the time being. If they can do that, they may have 1 or 2 moments at the other end where they can hurt Liverpool.
Here they come now, Burnley, with McNeil on the left-hand side, crosses towards Wood, steered behind by Virgil van Dijk from the edge of the Liverpool 6-yard box.
Get the ball to McNeil. That would be my message if I'm Sean Dyche. He's got the beating of Alexander-Arnold. It's a great ball into the box. Plays the 1-2, drives down the left, and puts it on a plate really for his striker. Van Dijk does ever so well to get there first and put behind for a corner.
It's Burnley's second corner of the afternoon. We know what happened at the first one. Will Ashley Westwood go for a repeat? This time Jack Cork, as the Burnley player, stood directly in front of Allison, the goalkeeper. It's a high looping one towards the far post this time. Not the worst delivery. Punched away by Allison.
That's a good punch. He was under pressure there, wasn't he, Allison? He'll be unhappy with the nature of the first goal, but he knows all eyes are on him every time there's a corner, but he dealt with that one nicely.
Hendrick content to let the ball run out for a Burnley throw, taken by Bardsley. Played in that famous game, Phil Bardsley, for Sunderland against Liverpool when Darren Bent scored with a little bit of help from a beach ball. Here's Hendrick with a shot from the edge of the penalty area. It's well wide in the end.
Hits his own man. Hits Chris Wood. It's unlucky. I think the shot was on target from Jeff Hendrick, who is a good worker for Burnley. Yeah, I think he's heading towards goal, and he's unlucky. It comes off his centre forward.
Unfortunately, replay the punch by Allison. He got plenty of distance on that, didn't he? Under pressure from Tarkowski arriving at the far post. 11 minutes to go until half-time. Liverpool 2, Burnley 1. 2 more live commentaries to come this afternoon. Remember, Chelsea against Wolves. That will be an interesting contest. Wolves have got a good record against the Big Six this season in the Premier League. And then Arsenal against Manchester United. Always one of the standout games of the season. Here is Alexander-Arnold shifting onto his left foot after cutting in from the right. Tried to stand the ball up for Firmino at the far post, but it's too high and behind for a goal kick. Don't forget, the best way to look ahead to a Premier League weekend is by subscribing to TalkSport's Premier League Preview Show podcast. That's available every Thursday. Tom Rennie, who I know is listening this afternoon, is your host for that one. Adrian pops up from time to time.
Yeah, I think I made an appearance on this week's show, actually. It was good fun as always. It's a good show.
Don't take our word for it. Kept downloading. 9 minutes to go until the break. Liverpool 2, Burnley 1 here on Premier League Live. Liverpool have won 9 of the last 11 games between these two at Anfield. Had to come from behind, but they're looking relatively comfortable now. Alexander-Arnold forward down that right-hand side to Wijnaldum. Salah tries to lay it off for Wijnaldum. It trickles back for Alexander-Arnold instead. At the moment, Liverpool content just to play the ball around amongst themselves. They've gone all the way back to Matip now. Allison plays it out to Virgil van Dijk, wearing the captain's armband. That's a lovely ball from Van Dijk, trying to use the pace of Salah. The ball just held up in the wind as well. Salah out-muscled in the end by Charlie Taylor, but I do think the blustery conditions are causing Burnley some problems here. Westwood, the goal scorer, gives it away on the edge of his penalty area. Then there was a foul on Alexander-Arnold. A free kick for Liverpool 2 yards outside the box.
No, it's incredibly strong, the wind, and it normally ruins the spectacle of the match, but we've seen a very entertaining first period. But yeah, with that long ball from Van Dijk, which was tremendous, by the way, 50, 60 yards against the wind, by the way, the ball actually moves backwards, even though it should be heading towards the byline. It suddenly stops and moves backwards, and Mo Salah overshoots it quite incredibly, runs past the ball. So that explains how strong this wind is. You can
see just by how much the wind is making the players' shirts gust, much like a flag on top of Buckingham Palace. Here is Mohamed Salah now. He's going to step over the ball, so Alexander-Arnold with the delivery.
Oh dear.
Not sure if that was a cross or a shot. It was pretty hopeless, whatever it was, and it will be a goal kick for Burnley.
He's not had a good half, Alexander-Arnold, by his high standards. I'm a big fan of his. That's a few times now that he's overshot passes and crosses.
38 minutes play, 2-1 Liverpool lead. 5 of their remaining games after today are against teams in the bottom half of the table. They still have Chelsea to play here, Liverpool. Manchester City, of course, have still got a Manchester derby at Old Trafford to navigate.
Yep.
It's going to be nip and tuck, you feel, right to the end of the season.
Wouldn't United love to spoil their
I don't know if they would,
City party? Well, of course, who do they dislike the most? Yeah, it's almost it's a no-win situation, isn't it, for them?
Burnley have got a player down here, Ashley Barnes, holding his face after an aerial duel with Virgil van Dijk. Ashley Barnes, who scored 4 goals in his last 6 away matches, has been in sensational form during this upturn in fortunes for Burnley. will be okay to continue. And the ball is sportingly played back by Burnley to Alisson. Liverpool having put it out so Barnes could receive some treatment. This is Virgil van Dijk just on the edge of the home penalty area. Plays a 1-2 with Alisson, his goalkeeper, and Van Dijk stretching those long legs, imperious as he comes forward and tries to scoop it over the top. Firmino was the intended target, ended up nearer Roberts on his left-hand side. Bardi has to slide in and put the ball into the stand for a throw. Sean Dyche, who suffered his 100th defeat as Burnley manager in that game against Palace last time out, still perched on the edge of his technical area. The Liverpool fans delaying, giving the ball back to Robertson. He gets it finally and takes the throw. Robertson, the Scotland international, back to his Brazilian teammate Fabinho, and now Virgil van Dijk, the Dutchman, out to the right-hand side. Mohamed Salah keeps it in and finds Lallana on the edge of the penalty area. Very good technical player, Adam Lallana. This is Wijnaldum. Crosses towards the 6-yard box, but it's taken cleanly enough by Heaton.
Yeah, Sting has just gone out of Liverpool's play. Definitely the first lull of this encounter, but what a half it's been. That controversial opener from Burnley, straight from the corner. Was Alisson fouled or not? There'll be a lot of speculation about that.
Well, he certainly felt so.
Yeah, and
Liverpool will feel justice has been done. They lead 2-1.
Yeah, exactly. And then we were saying how mentally strong are Liverpool. Have they got that character? Have they got the belief in their methods to come back and win the game? And it appears that they have. So loads to discuss, and I think that Liverpool fans should probably feel quite proud of the way their team did respond under enormous pressure. You've seen worse sides than this capitulate in similar scenarios.
Tarkowski leaves the ball for Bardsley. It's going to be a Burnley throw halfway inside their own half of the field. It's volleyed forward by Barnes, looking to get Wood in behind the Liverpool defence. Hendrick plays it against Matip and out for a Burnley throw.
Wasn't it? Again from Matip. He's not been asked that many questions in this first half. Whenever he has been put under pressure, Matip, he's looked wobbly. And Burnley, I think, would be wise to target him, to close him down at every opportunity. And I think down that channel where he is on the right side of Liverpool's defence, and Alexander-Arnold, they're the two weaker players really for Liverpool here today. Burnley have got to get it over that side of the pitch as often as possible.
The two managers both out on the edge of their technical areas. Jurgen Klopp wearing bright red trainers. Sean Dyche just in conversation with the fourth official as Alisson plays the ball forward for Liverpool. Mane, scorer of their second goal, brings it down the chest, but it's cleared into touch by Hendrick. Going to play very deep. Jeff Hendrick almost as a right wing back.
It's not his position really. I mean, he's often played in behind the striker, Jeff Hendrick, so he's shown his versatility at the moment, playing as this sort of narrow wide player, but I don't think that brings the best out of him.
Alexander-Arnold over to Salah down the right hand side. Taylor wins it back and punts it forward, but McNeil sees the ball ricochet off his chest and out for a Liverpool throw. No goals in his last three in the Premier League for Mohamed Salah. Still needs one goal to reach a half century in the Premier League for Liverpool. He did that today. It would equal Alan Shearer's record of 66 matches to reach the tally. Here is Wijnaldum for Liverpool. Lallana. Wijnaldum has Alexander-Arnold overlapping. Wijnaldum in space now to maybe get across into the area. It's a high one towards the far post. Robertson attacked it but couldn't make contact. That's how to play for a Burnley throw.
Yeah, just to think back, I was one of many people that at the time when Mo Salah joined from Roma, we said, do Liverpool really need him? Is that the area of the team that they need strengthening most? Is he that good? Wasn't great for Chelsea, of course, and wow. I mean, he's got to 49 goals in double quick time, hasn't he? And what would they do about him now? That's the question.
And in fairness, you get the feeling he's not ever really this season quite been at full pelt, but he's still scored 20 goals.
Yeah, he's lethal. He really is. He's a brilliant finisher. And it's not just his finishing, as we've seen here already this afternoon. It's his penetration that he offers. He's got that explosive speed. He's willing to make runs and darts in behind defenders. And from there, he can either score or he can create goals for others. To have a winger, effectively, because that's what he is. He's not a centre forward, really. Have a winger that guarantees you over 20 a season. It's ridiculous. It's fantastic. And, well, if they were to ever sell him, make a heck of a profit, wouldn't they?
Wow.
What would he be worth?
I think there'd be some angry Liverpool fans if that ever did happen. It's the last minute of the first half here. It's the last side leading by 2-1.
Never say never. They never thought Coutinho would go, did they?
He's hankering for a move to Manchester United if the newspapers are to be believed.
Yeah, come and get me, please. That would have... Well, if Liverpool fans were clinging on to Coutinho as a hero of Liverpool, if he went to Manchester United, that would end that relationship, wouldn't it?
Just hasn't worked out for him in Barcelona, has it? The Brazilian, who, of course, was part of that Liverpool side that came so close under Brendan Rodgers to ending their long wait for Premier League glory. They just fell away right at the end of the season. That famous no more slips speech from Steven Gerrard, and he probably fell over in a game here against Chelsea.
Yeah, Liverpool could do with Coutinho now. I think he is that creator in midfield that would make a big difference for them.
This is a better Liverpool team than that one with Sterling and Suarez and Coutinho.
Close, better defence.
Burnley put him behind the defence here, but offside flag denies Chris Wood as he shoots and sees his left-footed effort saved anyway by Alisson.
Yeah, it was the flag went up very, very early there from the set piece. High line.
Two of them in an offside position.
Two definitely offside. If that Liverpool side with Gerrard and Suarez and Sturridge and Sterling, if they had this defence and goalkeeper, they'd have won the league easy. It would have walked in the park for them.
They're up against a better Manchester City side as well, you would feel, than that one.
Yeah.
But Brendan Rodgers couldn't quite finish in front of.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I don't think there's a lot in it with the front three. Suarez was untouchable, wasn't he, in that particular campaign?
And that's as close as they come since 1990. He did have a flirtation with it as well under Rafa Benitez before he lost the plot towards the end of that season. That famous fax rant.
Of course, yeah. So how quickly you forget.
They've had some near misses, Liverpool. They're a whole generation. I see one of them on the screen now. A boy in a black bobble hat, must be no more than 8 or 9, who will have no clue, wasn't born the last time Liverpool were dominating English football.
Yeah, there's a lot of adults in this stadium that weren't born last time Liverpool won the league.
Will they get a better chance in the foreseeable future?
Yeah, they might. Because they haven't done anything wrong. Their points tally is set to smash their own records in the Premier League by miles. It's just that they're up against one of the best, most talented Manchester City sides there's been in English football, really. This City team under Guardiola is something very, very special indeed. So they're unlucky that they're up against such formidable opponents in the race. I don't think this group of players could do much more than they've done.
They're a bit to the footballing world, the Premier League landscape, what Andy Murray was to the tennis world. He was a fantastic player, but he was very unfortunate that he played in the same era as Djokovic, Nadal and Federer.
Yeah, I can see that comparison. Absolutely.
We've got 30 seconds of time added on. The game is just petering out to a scrappy end to the first half as McNeil was swept off his feet there by Alexander-Arnold over on the touchline. Sean Dyche can't believe a free kick wasn't given Burnley's way. It's been a good confrontation there between the two teenagers, McNeil of Burnley and Alexander-Arnold of Liverpool, in which you have to say that maybe McNeil has just had the edge.
I think so, yeah. I don't think Arnold's had a brilliant half inside the final third. His final ball has been unusually poor, and at the back McNeil has probably had the better of him. Great half of football, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the half-time whistle has blown. We've had all kinds of adverse weather conditions here so far this afternoon. Liverpool made a stormy start, Ashley Westwood scoring direct from a corner with only 6 minutes play, but the Reds back on terms 14 minutes later, courtesy of a tap-in from Firmino. And then Sadio Mane, continuing his rich vein of goal-scoring form, gives us a half-time score of Liverpool 2, Burnley 1. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League preview show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the preview show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway. It's the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's running himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
Welcome back to Premier League Live. This was always going to be a nerve-shredding afternoon for Liverpool fans. They've had to do it the hard way in this first half, but at the moment they are on course for the victory to cut Manchester City's lead at the top of the Premier League to just a single point. Be a corner played in from the left-hand side. Good delivery as well. He's gone straight in. Burnley take the lead at Anfield. An absolute dagger to Liverpool hearts. A goal that will be roared from here to the Etihad and back, and I think it went straight in. The goalkeeper Alisson is furious, and it's the set-piece taker.
Westwood, isn't it?
Westwood who is taking the plaudits, and nobody got a touch on the ball. He scored straight from a corner, Westwood. It's his first ever Burnley goal. Absolutely incredible. Liverpool 0, Burnley 1. Touch from Salah to bring it down, and he's playing 1-2 with Wijnaldum. He's trying to find Firmino. Liverpool have hit back here. Roberto Firmino with his 12th goal of the season. Calamitous defending from Burnley. Burnley momentarily winning back, and here's Sadio Mane. It's another blunder inside the penalty area, and punished with aplomb by Mane. 7 goals in his last 6 Premier League games now at Anfield, and Liverpool have come from behind to lead by 2-1. Yeah, quite extraordinary opening to this match with that early sucker punch from Burnley, but credit to Liverpool, as Adrian was articulating in commentary, for the way they fought back, and they do lead. Sadio Mane becoming the 5th Liverpool player to score in 6 consecutive Premier League home appearances. Can you name the other 4?
Oh, no. Go on.
Have a stab.
Hang on, what's the question? Ask me the question again.
Sadio Mane, the 5th Liverpool player to score in 6 successive Premier League home games.
Fowler must have done it.
No.
Kidding me?
Not on there.
Rush? Or is it just Premier League?
Just Premier League. Rush only played the first couple of seasons.
Yeah, oh goodness me. Suarez?
Yep.
Sterling?
Nope.
I give up.
Salah, Torres and Michael Owen.
I should have got it. I gave up too easy.
That goal for Roberto Firmino, by the way, the one to get Liverpool back on level terms, means he's now scored double figures in all 4 of his Premier League seasons, and actually his goal record, 62 goals now in 182 games for Liverpool. For someone who's not classed as a sort of out-and-out number 9, Firmino, that is impressive.
Very, yeah, no, that's decent. He's a good all-round footballer, isn't he? I like the fact that he can play anywhere as well. He doesn't complain if he gets moved to the left, or he even has been asked to play as a number 10, hasn't he? In behind a Salah or a Mane as well. He's a good all-round footballer, and it's a great pickup actually from the Bundesliga. I think Liverpool's recruitment has been so much better the last 2 or 3 years than it had been previously. The amount of duds they sign has gone down markedly, and even Van Dijk, they didn't necessarily go about getting him in the right way from Southampton, but they stuck to their guns and they found a way to get the man that they wanted, and he made the difference, didn't he?
Remember that Twitter poll? Quite simply, who wins the Premier League, Manchester City or Liverpool? You find it on my personal Twitter feed, Alex_Crook, or indeed retweeted by the TalkSport Live Twitter. 84% of you, lots of you getting involved, still say Manchester City, that despite the fact Liverpool are leading at half-time. This is the first of 3 commentaries this afternoon. Arsenal against Manchester United to come at 4:30. We've got Chelsea against Wolverhampton Wanderers on the way next. Let's hear from the 2 managers ahead of that one. Of course, Nuno Espirito Santo and Maurizio Sarri.
In the last 5 matches, we won 4 matches and we drew against Manchester City. In 5 matches we conceded only 1 goal. Now we are improving in consistency. We are improving in defensive solidity. But we have to be careful because also in the past we had a long period of results. And then suddenly 2 weeks of disaster. And so we have to be careful.
We don't think about beating them. We look at Chelsea and we know what we're going to face. Fantastic players, fantastic manager, ideal football, very difficult. But we have to try and be focused on what you can do to prevent Chelsea to play. Is one of the important aspects on the game. Then, when you have the ball, you have to play, of course. And we know how to play, but to avoid Chelsea to be comfortable during the game is one of the strong aspects.
That was Nuno Espirito Santo and Maurizio Sarri ahead of Chelsea against Wolves. The points you would imagine more precious for Chelsea as they look to keep pace in the top 4 race than for the visitors. And I'm going to be intrigued actually, Adrian, to see the Wolves team sheet because they've got a massive game in the FA Cup next weekend against Manchester United.
Yeah, I think there will be changes. He's prioritising it, and I think rightly so, because the season's not over for Wolves. They're in the race for 7th place, which is, it's interesting for them, and it would be a good achievement, wouldn't they, to be the best of the rest. But look, they've got great opportunities to win the FA Cup at home, of course, in the quarterfinals. Tough draw against Manchester United, but it's winnable, certainly, given their record against the top teams. So yeah, I think they might go a little bit weaker today than they do in the Cup game, but they're not going to be weak, Wolves. This is a very strong squad that Nuno's got, and they've got an excellent method of playing against the big boys. I think their style, in regards to the way they close off space, the way they hunt impacts, it really is well suited to playing against the best teams in the division.
And very quickly on Maurizio Sarri, he looked a dead man walking a few weeks ago, but they do seem to have turned the tide, Chelsea.
They do, yeah, no, he's re-galvanised the dressing room. I still think he'll probably move on in the summer. I don't see him staying in the long term. But for now, Chelsea's dressing room seems united, and they're certainly playing better. But look, it's only a matter of time before it all blows up again, before there's more trouble within that camp, because there are a few rotten apples there, and if he wants to stay there, Sarri, he has to get rid of a few of those players in the dressing room this summer.
So Chelsea against Wolves, Arsenal against Manchester United coming up later. But next up we have the second half from Anfield. Liverpool 2, Burnley 1. You are listening to Premier League Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun.
Well, not much. Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million Predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million Predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot. What a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester.
Vardy chance! Vardy goal! Leicester City, out of nowhere, have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League preview show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it. Oh, it's a goal. It's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
He's put down the dumbbells and has turned up here for the show. Chris Iwelumo is on the preview show. A Premier League winner, Paul Parker, joins us on the Premier League preview show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Burnley from Anfield. I'm your host, Alex Crook. Alongside me is the former Arsenal winger, Adrian Clark. This is Premier League Live. Well, the Burnley players seem to have dried off during the half-time interval. The sun is back out at Anfield. And the Burnley players are the first to emerge from the tunnel. The Liverpool players in a huddle at the mouth of that Anfield tunnel. Belatedly come back out onto the field. Liverpool with this slender 2-1 advantage. What will Jurgen Klopp have been saying, Adrian, to his players at half-time?
Difficult to work out what the message would have been, actually. I think he would have been delighted at their response to going a goal behind. He will want to put this game to bed to ease the nerves. So I think he'll be demanding a very fast start to the second period, because the longer this goes on, if nerves begin to fray again, Burnley will gain confidence. And as we found out early on, it only takes one mistake or one miss from a match official, and Burnley could set the cat amongst the pigeons again. So no, I think the message will be first 15, steam at Burnley and put them out of sight before the nerves kick in later on.
Yeah, because a 1-0 advantage is always a slender one. Sean Dyche has just come out of the tunnel and go straight to the edge of the technical area. Never one to really sit in his seat during matches. We are back off and underway here on Premier League Live. Liverpool all in red. They're shooting from left to right, attacking the Kop end in this second half. Burnley in the all-white strip. Liverpool unbeaten in 35 home matches. That's the best record of any team in the top 5 major European leagues. 125 and drawn 10. That's their best run here since 1980, when of course they were the top dogs in English football.
It's an incredible record. In recent years, until they embarked on this run, you always felt that Liverpool were likely to slip up against a so-called smaller side. They had more than their fair share of off days that were punished. Doesn't seem like those happen anymore.
It seemed that way 6 minutes into the match, when Burnley took the most unlikeliest of leads. Ashley Westwood scoring direct from a corner, but Liverpool found their feet again. Goals from Firmino and Mane, putting them ahead at half-time as Burnley crosses cleared first by Van Dijk and then stabbed into touch by Trent Alexander-Arnold, just trying to rally his teammates.
Yeah, again, it's Burnley looking at their most dangerous on the left-hand side. I think Taylor and McNeil done a good job, actually. I think they've won their personal battles down this side.
Here is Matip facing his own goal. He half volleys the ball into the stand. The wind's still blowing a gale at Anfield. Those shirts still flapping. I do think the weather has certainly had an impact on proceedings. Jurgen Klopp never one to shy away from blaming the elements.
No,
things go badly.
Yeah, look, we've seen 3 goals, but everyone's talking about the weather. It's a very strange day. Bright sunshine right now, but just a few minutes ago it was sleet, it was dark, it was awful. So it's one of those weird, 4 seasons in one day afternoons on Merseyside. As for the football, pretty good, got to say, and Burnley are competitive.
It is gripping, this title race, isn't it?
Yeah,
no question about it. And I was listening to Mickey Quinn, actually, former Premier League player, big Liverpool fan, on TalkSport last week after the Merseyside derby, and he was saying his biggest fear is that Liverpool will become mentally and physically drained just from trying to keep pace with this Manchester City side.
Yeah, it can be exhausting. That's why Klopp is so important. His role, he needs to relax the players as much as he can. Because if you walk around feeling tense all the time, I mean, we're not saying that they are, but if you do, if you stop worrying or over-analysing and maybe changing your habits, overthinking things, it can take it out of you. That is fact. So hopefully from a Liverpool end, Klopp and his coaching staff are trying in a way to take the players' minds off of what is a high-pressure race.
4 minutes gone in this second half. Liverpool 2, Burnley 1, as it was at half-time. 12 visits to Anfield since Burnley last tasted victory on this ground. Here is Wijnaldum releasing Adam Lallana down the right-hand side. He's up against Taylor. Now Alexander-Arnold offering backup. Loves to bomb on down the right-hand side. The youngster really has made the right-back spot his own for Liverpool, to such an extent they felt they could loan Nathaniel Clyne out to Bournemouth in January.
Yeah, I remember watching him live at Anfield very early on in his first-team career, and he just stood out a mile. He just looked so comfortable in the environment, and he's come from strength to strength. Not been his best day today, but he is top drawer.
Here is Ashley Barnes now, over the halfway line, a little outside of the foot pass in towards Wood, cleared by Virgil van Dijk, who once again has been outstanding at the heart of that Liverpool defence. For me, he might just be Premier League Player of the Season, Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, he gets my vote. Yeah, he really does.
I can't remember the last time a defender won that particular accolade. Here's Wood into the penalty area. Down goes Barnes theatrically, but no chance of a penalty there. I think it may have been Paul McGrath.
I think you're right, yeah.
For Aston Villa in the very first Premier League season.
Yeah, no, I think you might be bang on there. Very unusual, but he has been consistently outstanding and made the difference for Liverpool. I don't think it matters that the Player of the Year plays for the champions or not. We've seen that happen loads of times. Gareth Bale got Player of the Year when he wasn't the champion. Robin van Persie, the same. Mo Salah last year won it. and he wasn't a champion, so there have to be. Van Dijk would get my vote. I mean, there are a number of contenders. Aguero would certainly be up there as well, wouldn't he?
Since he made his Liverpool debut, Virgil van Dijk, following that elongated move from Southampton, they kept 23 Premier League clean sheets, and they are leading the way in that particular statistic this season. Here is Firmino. They've got plenty of threat at the other end as well. Salah with their left-footed effort, trying to curl it into the corner, just wide.
Not the worst effort in the world from Mohamed Salah, left-footed. As soon as he shifts the ball on his left foot, you always expect something to happen, don't you? He wraps his boot around it. It's curling. Can it spin inside the post? No, it can't. Just wide in the end. But yeah, Van Dijk has started the second half well. Burnley have applied some good pressure first 5 minutes. 2 or 3 times Van Dijk's been called into question. What's he got? He's just been too strong for the likes of Barnes and Wood, who are no shrinking violets. We know that. They're physical.
Heaton with the long ball forward, the Burnley captain. It's headed on by Ashley Barnes and cleared upfield by Alexander-Arnold. Intercepted by McNeil, who's got the beating of Alexander-Arnold again for pace. It's across into the area, which Van Dijk steers away. And then told Fabinho he had plenty of time to complete the clearance.
He's just an old-fashioned winger, isn't he? He hasn't really got a trick, McNeil, but he's long-legged. He's got
not
good
like
pace.
David Brooks at Bournemouth, actually, in that respect.
He travels with the ball really in a balanced way, and he's fast, powerful. He sort of gets it out of his feet, drops the shoulder and goes on the outside. It's good to see. Good confidence.
Burnley stroking the ball around neatly. Well, it's just given away by Barnes. Bardsley. The pass was overhit down the right-hand side and collected by Allison.
You were asking me at half-time about the Wolves lineup. They've gone strong, mate. They've gone very, very strong for the next game up. Chelsea against Wolves. Pretty much as strong
for Manchester United.
Pretty much as strong as you could get. Maybe one change at the back with Saiz coming in for Bennett, but Ruddy in goal. Other than that, it's definitely first choice.
I think Patricio is still injured, isn't he? Here's Mane into Firmino, looking for Salah at the far post. He passes slightly ahead of the Egyptian and it curls wide. That was a counter-attack full of pace, started by Mane inside the centre circle, released Firmino down the right. And it only needed the finishing touch from Salah to complete what would have been a picture-perfect Liverpool goal.
Yeah, the front three love to combine in triangles, don't they? Mane did brilliantly. Waited for the right moment. He released Firmino, sprinted so fast to join in, and it was a pass from Firmino aimed for Salah, but what happened, whether it got caught in the wind or he just sliced it, but it almost crept into the bottom corner. It was one of those we saw in the week with Arsenal, Alex Iwobi, a cross going straight into the goal. This would have been a blatant pass nestling in the back of the net.
Next goal in this game, absolutely crucial. If Liverpool do score it, you feel there would be no way back for Burnley. Here is Mane. They're looking for that third goal. Salah can't quite get it out from under his feet before it's swept clear by me. And then Barnes tries to hold it up, but Matip steps in for Liverpool. Wins his side a throw in, which Alexander-Arnold is going to take level with a penalty area. Been a tough afternoon for Barnes and Wood up front for Burnley so far. Here is Lallana down by the corner flag. Alexander-Arnold into the feet of Mohamed Salah, turns neatly away from the full-back. Here's Salah into the 6-yard box, tries to cut it back. Well defended Taylor. Will be a corner. That was Mohamed Salah at his very best.
He's brilliant, isn't he, Salah? So tricky in tight areas there. He's strong, great balance, low centre of gravity. Gets to the byline where he sets up the equaliser, of course. This time, Burnley make the block. Liverpool in the corner, but yeah, when Mo Salah's in the mood, it's a joy to watch.
Lallana, lovely little shift of body position, then drags the cross along the 6-yard box, clear behind by Taylor for yet another corner.
When you told me ahead of kick-off that Liverpool fans weren't happy with the selection of Adam Lallana, it's completely flabbergasted me.
That was just a few tweets I saw on social media, not necessarily exact science.
No, but I know what you're saying. He's a really good player to watch, great balance there, skillful. think he's had a good game, and of course he was instrumental in the big second goal.
The ball is definitely not in the D as Alexander-Arnold takes the corner towards the far post. The lino on this near side had a good look at that and allowed him to take it. Here's Salah with a left-footed volley, blocked on the edge of the box by Barnes. Burnley can't get out just at the moment. Liverpool still have it with Van Dijk. Is he going to shoot from distance? Try to play it into the feet of Lallana instead. Former Southampton teammate is chipped forward in the end by Jeff Hendrick. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Liverpool 2, Burnley 1 on Premier League Live. Don't forget, the best way to look ahead to a Premier League weekend is by subscribing to TalkSport's Premier League Preview Show podcast. That's available every Thursday. Liverpool, unlike many in the Premier League, are in action next weekend. Here is Wijnaldum in the right back position. Lovely turn by Alexander-Arnold away from Cork and towards the halfway line. This is Lallana out to the left touchline where Firmino takes over. Scooped into the area. Lallana continued his run. Mee climbs high and heads it away. Kept alive by Robertson on the byline. Mane into the feet of Mohamed Salah. Lallana trying to play in Salah, but it's cleared away by Burnley. They're having a sit very deep, Adrian Clark.
They can't get out of their own half at the moment. They're pinned in. See Ashley, Chris Wood it was there, back inside his own half. Clears the ball, but there's no one to pass to. Very isolated, the two front players at the moment. A secret to Burnley's success is that compact 4-4-2 that you know, all the players work in unison together. Liverpool are doing a good job here of putting space between Burnley's midfield and the front two. They're so in the ascendancy actually that Burnley are having to drop deeper and deeper. Basically got no one up top to release passes to.
Here is Mane into the feet of Salah. He's taken Tarkowski with him, and Tarkowski manages to toe poke the ball out for a Liverpool throw. Still no goal for Mohamed Salah. What are we up to now? 450 minutes there or thereabouts.
Played well today though.
Yeah, he's kept the Burnley defence on their toes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he should beat himself up if he doesn't get on the score sheet here this afternoon. It's been a performance that signals a return to form. And if he plays like this against Bayern Munich in the games to come, he will score plenty.
It's going to be Heaton to play this long upfield for Burnley. At the moment heading for a third successive defeat, just the 2 points above the relegation places. Cardiff, well, they've got plenty of fight left in them. Good win for Southampton yesterday as well. It was at St Mary's as they came from behind to beat Spurs. Burnley's going to come from behind to get something from this game. The cross towards the far post cleared half away by Robertson. Jack Cork puts it back into the mix and straight into the arms of a grateful Alisson.
Wasted there. Burnley got themselves into a great area and then they just hoisted a very lofted cross into the box. Alisson said, "Thank you very much, guys, I'll just come and have that." And that was the one opportunity that Burnley have had in the last 15 minutes or so. Wasted.
Salah looking for Mane inside the penalty area. Mee stoops and heads the ball away. This is Robertson now in the orange boots. Lallana into the penalty area, shoots right-footed, blocked by Tarkowski. And then Robertson looking to give it back to Lallana, who wasn't quite on the same wavelength, and it's behind for a goal kick. Just looking at Burnley's run-in, Adrian.
Yeah.
They are at home to Leicester next weekend. That's a tricky game, given the Brendan Rodgers effect there. That new manager bounce, perhaps. Then Wolves at home.
Yeah, not easy.
They go to Bournemouth in April. Bournemouth don't often lose at home to sides outside the top six. Cardiff at home, that could be a massive game, couldn't it, middle of April. Burnley away, Chelsea away, Manchester City at home, Everton away, Arsenal at home. There's some tricky games there.
I think they're very much in the relegation race. I still think that Cardiff are slightly inferior to Burnley. I think Cardiff, Huddersfield and Fulham are the three worst teams in the division, but that is a torturous run-in. I think what's in their favour is that Cardiff themselves have a very tricky schedule as well. We don't know how many more points the Bluebirds will pick up. Mane
trying to hurdle the challenge from Bardsley. Bardsley clipping it forward. Virgil van Dijk winning an important header, otherwise Wood would have been through on goal. It's maybe beginning to warm to their task here, Burnley. An hour gone. Liverpool lead 2-1 on Premier League Live.
Yeah, that fast start that we said Jurgen Klopp would have demanded from his team. He got it. They pinned Burnley back, but they haven't scored. We're on the hour mark, and Burnley feel, quite rightly, that they're in this game and they still might have a say in what we see here today. I think the longer it goes on at 2-1, the more confidence Sean Dyche's men will build. So this is a very, very critical passage of the game.
Lallana forward to Sadio Mane. Salah back to Mane. Here's Salah again, trying to play another 1-2. Just one pass too many, and it's collected by Heaton inside the penalty area.
Yeah, like a little pinball machine, wasn't it? 1-2, 1-2, rat-a-tat-tat. I love seeing it. Mane to Salah, back to Mane, back to Salah, who tries to find Mane again, and this time it dribbles out. But yeah, the front three have shown a marked improvement. Obviously, Origi started, didn't he, at Goodison Park last time, but it just feels a while since all three players in Klopp's attacking weaponry all clicked at the same time. I think they kind of have today. They're decent.
Just looking at the Burnley bench, because surely Sean Dyche will be contemplating changes in terms of players who can come on and really change the game. You have to say Peter Crouch against his former club would probably be the only option. They do have Mate Vidra, who's a very prolific goal scorer in the Championship. For me, I'm not quite sure he's Premier League ability. Robbie Brady maybe could come on and supply some width. Same for
Gudmundsson, I think, is an underrated player. He's made some good contributions this season, actually, for Burnley. Gudmundsson. He would be the one I would turn to. Maybe him and Crouch. Read of interest this morning's papers. Peter Crouch said he might not be allowed home. His wife is a huge Liverpool fan. If he was to score a goal in this game that hurt Liverpool's title chances, she would have the right home.
Yeah, I might have that situation. Not that I'm in a position to influence it, but my wife supports one team who my team are playing later on today. I'll say no more than that. I am looking forward to going home and maybe goading her if the result goes my way. Is that husbandry?
But brave.
Here is Bardsley. She's got her dad watching her as well.
You don't want to upset the boss.
Well, clip forward into the Liverpool penalty area, but the offside flag up against Hendrick with 63 minutes played.
It's been a better 5 minutes for Burnley. He's onside, actually. It's a bad call for the linesman. We've seen a few iffy decisions, haven't we, across the Premier League this weekend. It's not been a great couple of days for the PGMOL and all the officials. I think today's another. We saw the replays at half-time on our screens, and the more I look at the Burnley goal straight from a corner, the more I think it should absolutely have been chalked off. Tarkowski impeded Alisson.
At the moment, that goal is not going to seriously damage Liverpool's title chances. They lead 2-1. Mane and Firmino with the strikes in the first half. Here is Wood. The longer it stays 2-1, the more anxious maybe these home supporters will come, and that could translate onto the pitch. Only takes one mistake or one moment of magic, and suddenly the whole picture at the top of the Premier League will change once again.
Yeah, or one bad decision from an official even. We don't often think about
this weekend,
exactly. So you can't rely on the fact that you're a better team than your opponent. You have to put them out of the game by building up a cushion. Liverpool haven't been able to do that. Started the half well, but they've definitely had a bit of a lull at the moment. Again, their second win, Burnley for sure.
Here's Taylor down the left-hand side. Burnley with plenty of bodies forward. It's Westwood who fizzes the pass into the feet of Wood. Now McNeil bamboozling Alexander-Arnold, but he can't get past Van Dijk. It's going to be a corner.
Not many get past Van Dijk, but the way that he jinked his way past Alexander-Arnold, a classy defender, was brilliant. Dropped the shoulder and he clipped it inside him. Very quick feet, McNeil. I said he didn't have a trick. Showed a bit of nimble footwork there.
Here is Taylor for Burnley. 65 minutes played. 2-1 Liverpool lead. Westwood, the Burnley goal scorer, trying to play in McNeil, but Neil not quite on his toes. The pass was heavy, and it will be a goal kick now for Liverpool, who have their best points haul at this stage of any Premier League season. They were 7 points clear on New Year's Day. History is on the side of Liverpool, because every team that have gone into a new year with an advantage of 6 or more points have gone on to win the championship.
Okay. Still got it all to do up against, as we outlined earlier, a sensational Manchester City side. I don't think they can afford any defeats. Liverpool probably maybe just even one draw. I think they could get away with one draw if they won the other games. You just look at Man City's run and you think, where are they going to drop points? Man U, maybe. Beyond that, it would be a huge surprise.
Quite often at this stage of a season, the business end of the season, one of the contenders slips up somewhere you're not expecting. I mean, I remember going right back to 1992. Aston Villa lost to Oldham at home. Nobody saw that coming.
It definitely happens. With regards to Manchester City, you look at who they've got left to play. They've got Tottenham at home, Manchester United away, they're the toughest two. Leicester at home, and then you've got tricky away games, I guess. Palace away, Brighton away, Burnley away.
Brighton's the last day of the season, isn't it, for Manchester City?
So
they could still be scrapping for their lives, the Seagulls. But I think they'll be safe by then. Here's Salah into the penalty area. I mean, that comes into play as well, doesn't it? You'd rather at this stage of the season, probably, as Liverpool look for a third, Mane can't quite get on the end of the cross, you'd rather play West Ham at home, probably would be your perfect fixture at this stage of the season. Teams with nothing to play for.
Yeah, just a header just wide there from Wijnaldum from the left wing cross. Good ball in from Andrew Robertson. Timed his run well, Wijnaldum.
There were two of them in the middle, Mane and Wijnaldum.
Looking at the fixtures, they've only got one mid-table team, so you can't classify Palace or Brighton as mid-table yet. They're certainly in the relegation race. As for Liverpool, looking at the games they have got left to play, Wolves mid-table.
Here's Salah. It was a poor kick out. Salah 1-on-1 with Heaton. Brilliant challenge, but Firmino's going to put in the rebound. And Liverpool are closing the gap on Manchester City at the top of the table. Roberto Firmino scores his second of the afternoon to surely put the game beyond Burnley. It was a goal all of their own making after a poor clearance. It looked as if Taylor had come to Burnley's rescue, denying Salah, but there was no stopping Roberto Firmino. His second of the afternoon, Liverpool's third, after a mistake by Heaton, kicked it straight to Salah. It is Liverpool 3, Burnley 1.
Yeah, of course, completely cold there. It was an awful goal kick from Tom Heaton. That's 2 goals he's culpable for now. Salah pounces on it. It's a brilliant tackle from Taylor, but the run of the ball does not go Burnley's way. He may have thwarted Salah, but he cannot stop the ball falling invitingly into the path of Firmino, who scores another tap-in. He has had 2 very easy finishes today, Roberto Firmino. It's game over for Burnley, and Tom Heaton, the man we praised ahead of kick-off.
Not been his best day.
Let's get this right. He's had a stinker.
Not been his best afternoon by any stretch of the imagination. Jordan Henderson, as Liverpool was celebrating that goal, has come on. It was a change they were readying. The club captain takes the armband from Van Dijk, and Wijnaldum is the player sacrificed. Another Elton John.
I remember that one. I was around when he sung that one. But then look, Wijnaldum's a key man. Hence, look, that's how good Liverpool are at the moment. They're captain. He's not a regular, is he? He's got a real fight on to keep his place. Burnley have been the architects of their own downfall here, really, today. Heaton has to do better with the Salah cross for the first goal, and that is it's inexcusable, really. I know it's a windy day, but it was the kind of goal kick you associate with an under-7. Yeah, he almost struggled we couldn't get it to the halfway line.
Did the wind play a part?
Well, it must have done, but it was a terrible connection as well. You expect a Premier League keeper to be able to reach the halfway line,
especially one who's been as good a form as Heaton in recent weeks since his return from injury.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely gutted, because the England squad will be announced shortly, and it may sway Gareth Southgate's decision, this performance. I mean, put yourself in Southgate's shoes.
Mind you, Pickford didn't have the best day yesterday, did he?
Who's he going to pick? Joe Hart. He might not have played, but he's not harmed his reputation.
I tell you what, Angus Gunn's been playing quite well for Southampton since he came back into the team. Just a possible curveball.
Wow, yeah. I mean, got a good selection of keepers to choose from, but maybe not one truly outstanding candidate.
Here is McNeil, dispossessed by Alexander-Arnold down by the corner flag. It's played up to Firmino, looking for a hat-trick. This is Salah. Going to run at me and try and shift the ball onto his left foot. He was alert to that. Again, the ricochet falls kindly for Firmino, just on the corner of the area. Henderson to Lallana. Mane, Liverpool in cruise control now, but Lallana has been dispossessed by Barnes, and he's been brought to ground inside the centre circle. Free kick and a booking for Fabinho.
It was a cynical challenge. Barnes nicks the ball away. He's on the counter. He knew exactly what he was doing. Fabinho there, pulling him down. Clear yellow card. We've hammered Heaton quite rightly for his awful goal kick, but let's also credit Liverpool here. Weren't they ruthless in the way that they executed the transition? They win the ball back, obviously with the poor kick, but Salah is so quick, so direct, brilliantly, and Firmino as well. He didn't stand and admire as Salah raced through. He busted a gut himself to get himself into the 6-yard box just in case, as he did for the first goal, and that perseverance was rewarded.
I think it will be the nature of the way they've conceded that will be so frustrating for Sean Dyche.
Yeah, the other one, Lallana makes the block on the edge of the box. Again, Sean Dyche will say, well, just clear your lines. You've got to get rid of the ball. So I think there's 3 really bad goals from Sean Dyche's perspective, and actually quite unusual of Burnley to gift opponents goals like they have done here at Anfield today. But look, that's what playing against top players can do to you. Top players that work hard. This Liverpool team do work hard.
Yeah, it's the bare minimum that Jurgen Klopp demands of his side. They've got to throw in to defend here, high up the field. Charlie Taylor, the left back, making his 50th Burnley appearance, is trotting forward to take it. 18 minutes remain. Liverpool 3, Burnley 1. A reminder, we've got 2 more commentaries still to come this afternoon on Premier League Live. Chelsea against Wolves is a 2:05 kick-off, and that's followed by Arsenal against Manchester United at 4:30 UK time. 2 matches that could have a big bearing on the outcome of the race for the top 4. That's the good thing about the Premier League this season. We talked about there's not too many teams who are just stuck in mid-table. There's still a dozen or so sides who could go down, and there's definitely a 6-way tussle for the top 4.
Yeah, well, we saw West Ham. They are mid-table, and they was an absolute no-show at Cardiff yesterday, appalling, and they're the kind of teams you want to be facing during the final few weeks of the season. But as you rightly point out, there's not many of them. Probably can't even put Newcastle into that category. Liverpool's running. I was going to get to it before. They've got Newcastle, they've got Southampton, Burnley, Cardiff, Fulham, Huddersfield. Got a lot of the teams at the bottom, Liverpool, and I do fancy them. I do fancy them to win most of those games. Of the run-in, I would definitely, hands down, pick Liverpool's over City's. So it's by no means done and dusted.
The Southampton game is on a Friday night. What's interesting is Ralph Hasenhüttl has, in 3 home games against the Big Six, has taken 2 victories.
Yeah.
That's more than Claude Puel, Pellegrini rather, and Mark Hughes combined when they were Southampton managers.
Wow, okay. Yeah, no, I really like the cut of Hasenhüttl's jib. I think got something about him. He's tactically smart, but he's also creating a bit of an identity there at Southampton. Players are definitely behind him.
That will be a tough game for Liverpool, under the lights, no question.
Yeah. I've got a good recent record, if memory serves me well, in some areas. I think Liverpool have had some good results in recent times.
Hasenhüttl and Klopp are big mates as well. They were on the same coaching course over in Germany.
Yeah, a lot of friendships are made on these coaching courses, aren't they? I missed out there, didn't I?
You never done a coaching course?
No, I just fell straight into the media side, and it's what I wanted to do when I finished playing. analysing the game, but yeah, I think the coaching has passed me by now.
Here's Mohamed Salah, Liverpool passing Burnley by as it stands. Mane trying to turn on the edge of the penalty area. He got the shot away. He's appealing for handball against Charlie Taylor. It will be a corner. Maybe if we had VAR and this was the Champions League in the Parc de France, that may have been given. Let's watch the replay.
Well, it's very much like it, wasn't it, with the Kimpembe incident. I think he keeps his arm tucked in, but he does turn his back in the same way, and it definitely hits his arm, Taylor. I'm not convinced that I'm all for VAR, but I still think we're going to get controversial decisions in regard to handballs.
Well, it still comes down to interpretation, doesn't it? Here is Alexander-Arnold, short corner routine. Lallana to Salah on the edge of the area. Salah onto his left foot, going to shoot from a long way out. It's blocked by Hendrick. Picked up again by Alexander-Arnold in the right wing position towards Van Dijk at the far post. It's over his head, and Van Dijk content to let the ball go out of play because the last touch was off a Burnley man. Will be a throw in, and Liverpool are going to make another change here. Naby Keita, almost a forgotten man really since his big money move in the summer of this title bid, is coming on for Lallana. Warm ovation for Adam Lallana from the fans inside Anfield.
Deservedly warm ovation. I think he's been really good today. It's not easy coming in from the cold. I know he's had bits and bobs of games of late. It's not straightforward that you come in and you do the business, but he has today. Great work rate, and that is why Liverpool were able to score that crucial second goal. The way he closed down inside the opposition half, that was brilliant, and his all-round performance has been very solid. As for Naby Keita, well, one of the flops of the season. We talked about the recruitment and not too many misses for Liverpool. You have to be brutally honest here and say that so far Naby Keita has been a miss.
Here is Mohamed Salah. Sliding in was me to win back possession for Burnley, but then under pressure from Salah is forced to concede a throw in. Roberto Firmino at the double for Liverpool this afternoon. He's now been directly involved in 100 goals in all competitions for Liverpool since Jurgen Klopp came in. 63 goals, 37 assists. That's more than any other player.
What a signing. Tremendous. Seems a good lad as well. Good team player.
Here he is, Firmino, maybe looking for the hat-trick on the edge of the area. Plays over the top for Henderson. Tarkowski got a foot on it. It's going to fall for Henderson in the area. Blocked by Taylor as he shot at the near post, and it's out for a throw-in. That was selfless from Firmino. Could have taken on the shot, but as you were saying, good team player.
Yeah, he's a team man, very unselfish. A little scoop pass there, very clever. Almost pulled it off in the end. It's a great block from Taylor inside his own 6-yard box from a rasping Henderson drive. Going back to Naby Keita, by the way, no goals, 1 assist in the Premier League. I mean,
he looked good in August, didn't he, when he first came
great.
in?
And you know, this is a guy, okay, it's not his job to score goals, but he did create and score in German football. So that kind of output has to go down as a massive letdown, really. But he might come good. He's clearly got the talent.
£52 million they paid to sign Naby Keita from Leipzig over in Germany. He's the first Liverpool player since Steven Gerrard retired, actually, to take the number 8 shirt. Big boots to fill.
Yeah, there's no question he's got great ability, and if he was able to replicate his form in Germany for Leipzig here, then he'd be a top player in the Premier League. But so far, the Premier League has sort of passed him by a bit.
Well, Burnley are making a couple of changes. Peter Crouch, who himself is applauded by the Liverpool fans, is coming on for Chris Wood. Crouch, who scored 42 goals in 134 matches in the red shirt, also played in that 2007 Champions League final for Liverpool. And Johan Berg Gudmundsson is also coming on in place of Jeff Hendrick, the Republic of Ireland international.
Good reception. Peter Crouch. Everyone loves Crouchy, don't they? I mean, you talk about good lads. He's a great personality and a useful player. I think he will have his moments for Burnley between now and the end of the campaign.
Well, if he was to score today, Crouch, he would become only the second player in Premier League history to net for 7 different clubs. Any ideas?
Oh, don't give me these quizzes. I'm not really. You're going to have to give me a bit more prep. I can't even, my brain is frazzled concentrating on this game. I can't think of all the clubs. Spurs, Portsmouth, Stoke.
No, I mean, who's the other player?
7 different clubs.
Craig Bellamy. You never know when you might need that. Might come up in a pub quiz.
It's good knowledge. It's all handy. You're educating the listeners here. I like it.
18 attempts for Liverpool, 2 from Burnley, 3-1 Liverpool lead. They've scored with every shot on target. Here's Salah looking for another, but it's cleared upfield by Heaton. Inside the 6-yard box, Crouch beaten in the air by Matip. It's no mean feat. Burnley still in possession with Johan Berg Gudmundsson turning deep inside the Liverpool half. Barty's going to cross looking for Crouch. Peter Crouch brings it down inside the box, but the whistle had already blown. Exactly sure what for. I think a foul maybe by Ashley Barnes. Liverpool have a free kick inside the D. 9 minutes remain.
Yeah, I think they're home and hosed. I think it's not a problem now for Liverpool. The 2-goal cushion should be ample, really. Burnley have stayed in the game, deserve credit for that, but haven't looked like scoring in the second half. For being truthful, Liverpool, if there is to be another goal, you'd expect it would be Liverpool.
This is Henderson for Liverpool. Fabinho back to Virgil van Dijk. Game really just petering out to an inevitable conclusion. Fabinho switches play out to the left-hand side.
He's got better, hasn't he, Fabinho? I remember the game at the Emirates Stadium earlier on in the campaign. He was all over the place, but he's improved.
Firmino into Alexander-Arnold towards the far post. Oh, Sadio Mane has missed from 3 yards.
How's he missed? It is sensational football from Liverpool. It really is. Firmino, what a pass to sex the entire Burnley rearguard. The ball in from Alexander-Arnold is first class. It's in that corridor of uncertainty. Mane on the stretch. What is he, 2 yards out? He somehow knocks it into the floor and bounces over the crossbar. It almost defies belief that hasn't ended up in the net. Robertson, by the way, must be fuming because he was queuing up for the tap-in behind him.
One or two fantasy league managers will be fuming as well. It would have been a Trent Alexander-Arnold assist, finished off by Robertson, the 2 defenders.
There says a man that maybe he's got one or both involved. Seriously, that was an unbelievable miss, wasn't it? It's so unlucky. I mean, 2 yards out to hit the ball into the ground and it misses the target.
Luckily, from a Liverpool perspective, I don't think it will make too much difference to the outcome.
No, but goal difference, Mike.
Yeah.
Come the end of the season, and City are ahead, aren't they, on that score? Not by much, but so if Liverpool can run up a couple of cricket scores, they'll negate that advantage that Pep Guardiola's men have.
Good play by Keita, holding off court to keep possession for Liverpool on the halfway line. This is Fabinho. Now Mane with that glaring miss, probably still very much at the forefront of his mind. Alexander-Arnold showed too much of it to McNeil. Crouch into the feet of McNeil. Virgil van Dijk has come across to beat Barnes to the forward pass. Now Henderson floats it out to the left-hand side where Robertson is forward with 7 minutes remaining at Anfield. The first of our 3 Premier League commentaries this afternoon. Chelsea against Wolves follows imminently, and the day rounded off by Arsenal against Manchester United at Emirates Stadium. Here is Mane now into the feet of Henderson. First time ball finds Keita into the penalty area, but didn't really ever look utterly convinced in his own mind where he was going to play the ball, and it's cleared upfield by Burnley.
It just physically, Premier League has been a bit too much for him this season. It's a stiff competition for a place, but in a side that, and we outlined this earlier, in a side that lacks midfield creativity, he was probably supposed to be the guy, but when you're only delivering 1 assist in the season, it's hard to pick him.
Here is Mane. Oh, he's got Robertson absolutely bursting down the left-hand side. Robertson shoots, but it was a brave block challenge by Barnes. They had men over there, Liverpool.
It's a brilliant block. It really is. From him. They've made a lot of blocks today, just looking at the stats. Tarkowski's made a couple, Taylor a couple, Cork a couple, Hendrick, Barnes, now Bardsley. Could have been a lot worse, the damage for Burnley.
Here's Henderson into the feet of Mane. They are looking for this fourth goal, Liverpool. Mane trying to slide it through to Firmino on a hat-trick, but he's intercepted again by Bardsley, who come across on the right-hand side. Here's Berg Gudmundsson. Bardsley deep inside Burnley territory. Most of Anfield bathed in sunshine now. He's offside. Ashley Barnes, as Burnley went direct. It will be a free kick for Liverpool. With a little over 5 minutes of the 90 remaining.
Do you fancy them against Bayern Munich, Liverpool? I think they'd go there and score.
Yeah, and I think they're strong enough defensively as well, so yeah, I probably do.
Yeah.
Bayern not exactly fired on all cylinders in the Bundesliga this season. Could have 4 English clubs in the quarter-finals.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are desperate for Spurs to draw Man City or someone like that, or Barcelona. But look,
it's wide open, that Champions
League. For one
League.
of the teams, if they were to get an Ajax or a Porto, I'm not saying you got one foot in the semi-finals, but you'd be favourite to reach the semi-finals.
Porto would be the team that everybody wants to draw.
They all want Porto. I mean, after what Ajax did at the Bernabeu, you might want to swerve them, I guess.
It's an interesting change by Jurgen Klopp. Daniel Sturridge has come on. Trent Alexander-Arnold, the player, making way. So maybe a change of system here.
I think Henderson's gone to right back. It's something he's done recently, isn't it? Jurgen Klopp, he's obviously short of options at right back. It might simply be a case if he wants to just give Henderson a bit more practice at right back in case he needs him there. Because you can't just rely on Alexander-Arnold. You know, the fact that they let Klein go on loan is, can't take back that decision now, can they?
Sturridge into Mohamed Salah. Salah sauntering towards the penalty area. Slight challenge by Taylor. Jack Cork picks up possession. He's actually on the worst goal drought, Daniel Sturridge, of his entire career. No goals in his last 14 matches.
Most of those must have been as a sub, though.
Burnley have brought on Mate Vidra as well. Ashley Barnes races run. So Vidra, the partner for Peter Crouch, and here he is on the ball. The former Derby County man, but he was barged off it by Fabinho. This is Naby Keita out to Mane, the left of that front trio for Liverpool. He's into the area here, Mane. Into Salah, who shoots, and that's a good save from Heaton. It may well have been going wide anyway. Watched it all the way, Heaton, and turns it behind with his wrist for a corner.
Yeah, Mane delayed. The pass to Salah looked like it was on a lot earlier. He waited to the last moment. It's a really good pass. Hits it early. It is on target. It's a very, very good save from Heaton.
It's a decent stop from Heaton on an afternoon largely forgettable for him.
Yeah, it's not been a good performance from Tom Heaton. Culpable for 2 goals. But that's a decent piece of reflex goalkeeping.
Short corner by Liverpool. Sturridge is going to cross into the penalty area. Matip up to attack it from the back. Crouch heads it half clear. It's picked up by Henderson. Henderson towards Mane, but it swirls away from him, and Bardsley will clear it upfield for Burnley into the feet of Westwood, the goal scorer for them. 6 minutes into the game, Liverpool coming from behind to lead 3-1. 2 from Firmino, Sadio Mane on the score sheet once again here at Anfield in front of a crowd of just over 53,000. Here's Sturridge, who's going to shoot from the edge of the box. It cannons off Tarkowski behind for another corner.
Yeah, desperate for a goal. I mean, he's 30 yards out there. Sturridge, he didn't connect with it at all, but he's lucky because the ball ricochets off of one of those white Burnley shirts for a cheap corner. I think Liverpool a good value for a fourth. Been pretty impressed by them today. They've not played with nerves. They've been fairly calm. It's turned out to be quite routine after a very difficult start.
Sturridge is going to cross here. Crouch with a header clear. Johan Berg Gudmundsson sprinting towards the halfway line for Burnley. Only Vidra ahead of him. Trying to time his run. Berg Gudmundsson has kept hold of the ball, waiting for the white shirts to get forward.
It's good defending from Jordan Henderson. It's absolutely outstanding.
And he's almost released Salah. The pass was just fractionally overhit, and that allows Tarkowski to pass it back to his goalkeeper.
He could become a very, very good right back, Henderson, because he's got that engine. He's leggy, athletic, and there you saw that he's got defensive nous as well. He held up the run of Gudmundsson.
He's actually
like
conceded,
a proper defender.
He's actually conceded a free kick. It took a long time for the referee to call that play back, but Burnley do have a free kick 10 yards inside the Liverpool half. Crouch amongst the targets in the middle. Played low along the ground by McNeil to Taylor. Taylor plays it against Keita. Keita then hammers his clearance against the Burnley fullback, and it's a goal kick for Liverpool. Bit of a waste, really, for Sean Dyche's men.
Yeah, he'll be frustrated, but this was an afternoon for Sean Dyche and Burnley where they weren't expected to get anything. Any point would have been a bonus. They'd have been dreaming. Of course they would have 1-0 up. That corner going straight in. It was a fortuitous goal. Tarkowski did foul Alisson and shouldn't really have got away with it. Since then, how many times have they tested Alisson, really? Can't remember too much.
We're into 3 added minutes at the end of the game. Liverpool leading Burnley by 3-1. That poll has finished. I asked you who would win the Premier League. 81% in the end voting for Manchester City, 19% for Liverpool. Vidra heads it into the feet of Westwood inside the penalty. They might get a chance here. They've got another goal back. Johan Berg Gudmundsson. Maybe it's not game over. With 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining, it is Liverpool 3, Burnley 2.
It should only be a consolation for Burnley, but this may unsettle Liverpool. Burnley is very scrappy. It's a goalmouth scramble, but does really well, the substitute Vidra. On the half volley, he picks out Gudmundsson. The beautiful angled pass on the half volley. And to his credit, Gudmundsson just nips in ahead of Robertson, goes near post. I don't think Alisson's made a single save in this game. He's conceded twice.
So only 2 shots on target, I think. And maybe now a nervy conclusion.
Well, they've just got to get the ball in the mixer here, Burnley, and just try and ask one last question of Liverpool. It's hard to fathom, really, how Burnley have scored twice here when they've not had any territory, they've not tested Alisson.
Some anxious faces all of a sudden on that Liverpool bench, and Joel Matip has conceded a throw deep inside the Liverpool half.
Yeah, well, they've got a minute and a bit here, Burnley. Can they?
McNeil away from Firmino, gets the cross in towards the near post, stabbed away by Keita. Taylor picks it up on the left-hand side. McNeil is onside, and he's going to cross here. Crouch will be a target. Goalkeeper should claim it, and he does. Just for a moment, I thought he was going to drop it.
I did too. He got up very, very early, and it looked as if, as he fell over, Alisson, he might spill this ball under pressure from Crouch.
I think he did momentarily spill it.
Yeah, it's a good recovery.
Pluck it in mid-air.
Yeah.
30 seconds to go. Burnley have the ball. Barnsley forward. Oh, poor pass into no man's land. And Henderson from the right back position plays it upfield for Liverpool. They've just got to keep it here. Firmino forward to Sturridge. Oh, it's a lovely ball to Mane. Heaton comes off his line. Mane's around Heaton, and Sadio Mane wins the game for Liverpool in the 3rd minute of added on time. Jurgen Klopp can celebrate. We're not going anywhere, Manchester City. That's the message that Liverpool is sending out this afternoon. It's a second from Mane. He makes it Liverpool 4, Burnley 2.
Oh, it's marvellous from Mane. Great speed from the turnover. It's a lovely pass from Sturridge in behind the Burnley rearguard. It's Firmino. Is he onside? He is. Sturridge. He just turns and plays him in. It's wonderful from Sturridge. His second favourite, I think, Mane, but his pace is so good. And Heaton, I'm sorry, Tom Heaton, this is 3 goals now that you're culpable for. He comes out, he almost cleans him out, Mane. If you come that far, you've got to get it if you're the keeper. He's had a horrendous afternoon, Tom Heaton. Well done, Mane. Skips the ball round Heaton into the empty net, and Liverpool get themselves a 4-2 win.
Yeah, the last kick of the game to seal, in the end, a pretty comprehensive victory. Didn't look that way when Burnley took the lead on 6 minutes. Ashley Westwood scoring direct from a corner, but their advantage lasted only 14 minutes before Roberto Firmino tucked in from close range to make it 1-1. Sadio Mane had Liverpool in front at half-time, and Firmino and Mane both able to add to their tallies in the second half. That after Johan Berg Gudmundsson had given Burnley a flicker of hope, making it 3-2 in stoppage time. A dramatic afternoon then at Anfield, as perhaps we expected. The final outcome is that Liverpool move to within just a point of leaders Manchester City at the top of the table. Full time here, Liverpool 4, Burnley 2. You are listening to Premier League Live. The corner played in from the left-hand side. Good delivery as well. He's gone straight in. Burnley take the lead at Anfield. An absolute dagger to Liverpool hearts. A goal that will be roared from here to the Etihad and back, and I think it went straight in. The goalkeeper Alisson is furious, and it's the set-piece taker.
It's Westwood, isn't it?
Westwood who is taking the plaudits, and nobody got a touch on the ball. He scored straight from a corner, Westwood. It's his first ever Burnley goal. Absolutely incredible. Liverpool 0, Burnley 1. Touch from Salah to bring it down, then he's played 1-2 with Wijnaldum. He's trying to find Firmino. Liverpool have hit back here. Roberto Firmino with his 12th goal of the season. Calamitous defending from Burnley. Burnley momentarily winning back, and here's Sadio Mane. It's another blunder inside the penalty area, and punished with aplomb by Mane. 7 goals in his last 6 Premier League games now at Anfield, and Liverpool have come from behind to lead by 2 goals to 1. Here's Salah. It was a poor kick out. Salah 1-on-1 with Heaton. Brilliant challenge, but Firmino's going to put in the rebound, and Liverpool are closing the gap on Manchester City at the top of the table. Feet of Westwood inside the penalty. They won't get a chance here. They've got another goal back. Johan Berg Gudmundsson. Maybe it's not game over. With 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Sturridge. Oh, it's a lovely ball to Mane. Heaton comes off his line. Mane's around Heaton. And Sadio Mane wins the game for Liverpool. In the 3rd minute of added on time, Jurgen Klopp can celebrate. So Liverpool 4, Burnley 2, a topsy-turvy afternoon, Adrian Clark, but in the end, Liverpool good value for the point.
Yeah, definitely. Disastrous start for them with Westwood scoring from the corner. They were unlucky. As I said, I think it was a definite foul from Tarkowski on Alisson, but they didn't let it affect them. It could easily have done, but they kept their cool. They kept doing the same things, playing their football the way that they normally do, and they were too good, really, for Burnley. I think the story of this game is the fact that the front three, Sadio Mane scores twice, Roberto Firmino scores twice, Mo Salah absolutely instrumental in everything that Liverpool did today. The front three, who have been flagging, were back in business, and when those three are firing, Liverpool are borderline unstoppable.
I suppose the one negative for Jurgen Klopp, 2 more goals conceded. Liverpool have now let in 9 goals in 10 games in 2019. That's 1 more than they had in their first 20 matches of the season. Is that a sign of nerves?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're not as impregnable as they were, but they still have an outstanding defensive record. And today, Matip looked dodgy, but Van Dijk was Rolls-Royce, as he so often is. I'm not worried about their defence, Liverpool. I used to be. They used to concede 50 goals a season, guaranteed. Not this time around. So, no, I think this was almost a freak day. The weather conditions were bad, and Burnley cashed in on odd mistakes, but Liverpool are solid enough.
Well, last week Jurgen Klopp was complaining about the wind. Today, Liverpool very much had the wind in their sails, back to within a point of Manchester City. 4-2 winners. This is Premier League Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick by kick commentary. Expert